In episode 1 of the Cockpit upgrade, we showed you how brute force took us from a failing cockpit to a beautiful foundation to build on. If you haven't seen it yet, be sure to check it out. In this video, we're going from a blank canvas to a Picasso. It was a ton of work, so let's get started. It was time to put some skin on this insulated dash. We started off with some hardboard and some cardboard templates. We traced out and cut the two halves using a jigsaw because one full piece just wouldn't quite fit in right. We taped the two halves together to provide a flexible joint. Then we added a layer of thin foam and our gray marine vinyl on top. It's hard to argue with the result. It really cleaned up the dash. Then it was time to address those useless side boxes. Using some leftover birch plywood, we fabbed up a box that fit the right dimensions. We also added a USB outlet and an AC electrical outlet, and cut a piece of pine board for the top. It's kind of a funny shape, but it maximizes the space and gives us lots more storage. The finished product fit and functioned perfectly. The driver's side box was similarly awkwardly shaped. It has the electronic controls for the stabilizing system. Using some more birch ply, we made a custom box for the driver's side as well. We moved the controls for the stabilizing system inside the box, added two USB outlets for charging our devices, and wired it all up nice and neat to look good. We cut a piece of hardboard for the bottom and added a piece of drawer paper to clean it up. The control panel turned out really well. It was nice and accessible inside the box. Then we added a lid of pine board to match the same dark stain to the wood we used in the rest of the RV. Final step was installing it in place and adding a cup holder on the front. It was time to drown out the roaring diesel under our step, so we added some pop with some new front speakers. Taking advantage of our leftover birch ply, we fabbed up some custom speaker boxes to go on the dash. We went with the triangle to keep them small, but still be able to direct them to the driver and co-pilot. Once we had all the pieces cut, we glued them together with some wood glue and used a nail gun with some finishing nails to hold it all in place. We covered them over with some batting, and then covered them with some of the marine vinyl to match the rest of the dash. We cut out the holes and finished the edges with some staples, mounted the speaker, and the end product was fantastic. Moving on to the console, we had a camera display, GPS unit, stereo, a couple switches, battery monitor, and a 12-volt outlet to mount. We used a piece of pine and marked it all out and then cut it with a jigsaw and a drill. Fit like a glove. We made a box out of pine and hardwood, glued and stapled it all together, covered it with foam, and then covered it in the same marine vinyl we used in the rest of the cockpit. We finished the face by ragging on some dark stain and a few layers of clear coat. Then came the tedious task of wiring it all up. The end result was amazing. The fit and finish was perfect, and everything was easily accessible from the driver's seat. Now we were cruising in style, with reverse and side view cameras. On the dash transition, we reused the existing structure. We added some new foam and stretched the new marine vinyl over top, then wrapped it around the edges and secured it along with staples as well. For the end pieces, we cut some tin and adhered it to the marine vinyl using spray adhesive. We finished off any sharp edges using some rubber grommet to give it a nice clean edge. For the cherry on top, we bent up some tin and made some new vent covers. We spray painted them with the black stainless steel to match the rest of the RV hardware. The marine vinyl really looks great and keeps a cohesive look across the whole dash. We repurposed the ashtray to be the speaker disconnect. Because there's only 4 outputs to the stereo, but there's 6 speakers, 2 in the dash and 4 mounted in the ceiling in the living room. So now we can switch between all 6 speakers whenever we want. So that just left the seat. There's no way those old ones were going back in, but we found some new ones on Craigslist. $450 for the pair, regular $800 each. They were showroom finished and fully adjustable. It was a steal. Now we had to mount them to the old bases. So we fabbed up some square tubing that allowed us to mount the seats to the existing bolt holes on the bases. So we were able to keep the swivel we like, add some high backs, and the air ride to boot. It was a load of work, but we can't argue with the results. The dash looks great, the floor looks great, the seats look great. Izzy's ready for the road. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching our cockpit go from zero to hero. And check out our blog post in the links below at lifeonroute.com. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe so you don't miss out on the fun.